All right, I know I went over this in the overview of Mesh Mixer, but I just wanted to hit it with a little bit more detail. I want to look at the shaders here with you. So shaders are used to change the way that your STL file appears in the software. And to show you this so you can see the difference, I want to bring in a whole lot of me. Okay, so this is just a scan from a Bellis 3D scan. And there we go. So we've got a bunch of me looking at us, and what I'm going to do is just drag a different shader onto each of these so you can understand what it is they're doing. This one right here isn't going to change at all because that's what it's starting at. That's kind of the basic starting Mesh Mixer mesh. The beauty of this one is that if you create face groups on your object, you'll be able to see those face groups, okay? And that's important in Mesh Mixer because you use face groups for so many things, all right? So that's one of the options, and that's the one that you're most likely going to be in almost all the time, okay? That's at least the one I recommend. This one, these next two that look like a little picture of the planet, and one of them is really bright and one of them looks a little darker. These, because these came from a Bellis scanner, they came with image, color. I think it's called a UV map, and basically it's a picture of me that gets wrapped around the object. And then this is the same one, but it includes some shading. So if you look at the difference between these two, they both have the color that came from that facial scan, but one of them you can see has lighting coming from Mesh Mixer, which is also casting shadows, okay, shaded areas. If I look up, the eyes are bright. If I look down, it gets darker around the eyes. Whereas this one, doesn't matter what direction I turn the models in, this one continues to look the same way, okay? And so obviously if you're just, taking an intraoral scan that just came in as an STL file, there is no color, and dragging something like this onto an object isn't going to do anything. This one is a pretty useful one, okay? This one is nice because it can be dragged onto an object to make the surface clear. Now, sometimes you can get that same effect by opening up the object browser and having something selected while you turn it off like this. Problem with that is I can't have this see-through like that while I'm working on it, whereas this one I can. And at times I'll do that. All right, so I'll close the browser here. So that's this see-through one, okay? I'm going to turn off the showing the boundary option, just so those blue lines go away. All right, here we go. And then let's do another shader. So this one, my understanding is, one, it only works if you have the UV color mask thing. Like these ones, you can see a little bit of that. Hold on, let me center this. You can see a little bit of that coming through. But yeah, so that my understanding helps you see how that grid is laying on your object, okay? I don't use that a lot because mostly I don't have objects that are utilizing color. And then this one can be useful if you're interested in knowing where undercuts are, okay? Notice with this one, these right here are where the undercuts are. And if you go into the analysis tool where it says overhangs, you can actually adjust what is considered an overhang, okay? Let's hit done, and you can kind of see right there that now it's changed it from its default to something else. If you want to mess around with this, see how you can change it, and wherever you change it, you can go ahead and it'll stay that way. And with this, the interesting thing is if you come in and you are moving your object around, it will kind of dynamically update with where the undercuts are that you set. So that's an interesting one if you're looking at undercuts. This one, I'm not sure what the use of it is. It's really, really bright white, yet on the opposite side it looks normal. So I'm not sure what you would need to use that one for. It seems like there must be a purpose to it or else they wouldn't have it. But and in my research I couldn't find anybody who was using it. These last ones, I'm just gonna show you a couple different things because from about here on, the rest of these are just for looks. They don't have any special function behind them. And so really you can just, if you want something to look kind of gold, or if you want to give it, what I've noticed is the ones that have the box around them tend to be just a little bit brighter, shinier. Whereas these ones that have kind of a shininess to them, like these ones, they have that shininess, so they look a bit metallic. Whereas the ones that are more like this are a little more on the dull side. My computer's kind of being a little sluggish right now. I think I might have too many other programs open up. But I'm going to just open my object browser because I want to select all of these at the same time, just so you can see the difference between all of these different ones. So this is your base one. This is the color without the shading, the color with the shading, the see-through, the one that kind of helps you see how the UV mask is applied to your object, the overhangs, the bright white, and then a couple different options to choose from to just throw a color on there. So sometimes when you're done with something and you just want to make a post to Facebook and you want it to look cool, sometimes throwing some shaders on there to give it a certain appearance is a nice way to go. I prefer to leave it in this one because this one allows you to really see the detail in the mesh, but you know, shaders are completely up to you. I've tried at times. If you notice at the very top, there's this option to add a shader. I've tried, because I tend to tinker. I tried to design my own, thinking I knew how to make a shader, and it did not work very well at all. So I'm not sure exactly how these shaders are created to provide things like the brightness and things like that. But if anybody ever figures that one out, let me know. It was a while ago I tried it out, and maybe if I tried again I'd have better success. But so hopefully that gives you some more stuff that you can, you know, stay busy with. So thanks for joining me today.